What's good, everybody? It's the Clown with Cap Show. NFL Week 11 recap. My disappointing Indianapolis Colts blew a lead. I really thought we should have won this game. I think we executed a great game plan, but overall, it always comes down to something, right? Maybe a penalty. Well, this time it came down to our kicker missed a field goal. I think it was like a 40-some yard field goal. Should have hit it. They ended up missing it. We would have won by 2 points, but shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? I mean, this is the NFL. Anything can happen. We're playing the best team in the league in Philadelphia, and really they're playing their worst game yet, and yet we still lose by 1 point. It's very disappointing to me. I think the Colts really, they played great up until like 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. It's like we had this game in the bag. We let Jalen Hurts take this game away from us. Late game in the fourth quarter, we saw he scored that late touchdown with about a minute to go to take the lead, and really I knew we were probably going to lose the game, even though we still had like a minute to go with the timeout, so there was no excuses for the Colts. We just lost this game fair and square, even though overall we had more control of the ball. We played a better game than Philly, and Philly somehow yet still won this game, and there's a reason Philadelphia only has one loss this year, and the Colts are below 500, and we have to understand, the Colts this year, it's probably over with. Obviously, unless we win out and get some luck, but I just think overall the Colts, that we're done this year. I mean, there's no chance, even if we do end up getting in a wild card, we're going to lose anyway. So it's just like, what's the basis here? Like, what are we trying to do, like, right now? So I think the Colts, man, we're in really a difficult situation right now. I just wish we really had this game in the bag. We had this game won. Jonathan Taylor played pretty well, 84 yards, 1 touchdown. Michael Pittman Jr., 6 receptions, 75 yards. And then Matt Ryan, 213 yards. But it was just one of those games where the Colts really should have pulled this out, dude. We should have had this game, man. We really should have. We lost by 1 point. It is what it is. I mean, shout out to Philly. They got the job done, even though they didn't cover the spread. If you went money line Philly, you hit on that. I went Indianapolis Colts. I mean, it pisses me off. It really does. It hurts a little bit, but big win by the Philadelphia Eagles. And then we had the Chicago Bears versus Atlanta Falcons. Falcons beat the Bears, which is pretty crazy because the Bears were up by like 14, maybe even 17 at one point. And then we had Patterson run back that kickoff. And really, Atlanta put it on him. And really, I kind of feel bad for Justin Fields because he continues to ball out. 153 yards passing with a touchdown and an interception. He also had 85 yards rushing and a rushing touchdown. I just feel like, for the Bears, they got to get a better offensive line. They got to add more tools for Justin Fields in the future. I think the Chicago Bears will be good in the future, absolutely. But it's just like where they at right now. They're not the team right now. They're not going to make the playoffs. They're going to miss out, which is devastating. Now, on the flip side, Atlanta Falcons, man, hey, shout out to Atlanta, man. They are kind of a low-key team right now. I just think Marcus Mariota, he's a nice quarterback. Decent quarterback, 131 yards passing this game and a touchdown. Shout out to Koo, hit the game-winning field goal. He's on my fantasy squad. I won this weekend. This was a must-win game in one of my fantasy leagues. Koo, man, he's been balling out. He only had one bad week, and that was about a month ago where he missed a couple extra points. But, hey, shout out to Atlanta Falcons beating the Bears. I was definitely wrong on this. I went Bears because of Justin Fields. I thought the Bears would win. They didn't. They lost by 3. Big win by Atlanta Falcons. And then we had the Cleveland Browns versus the Buffalo Bills. I had the Bills all day in this matchup. This was an easy pick for me. I think this was another lock pick to go Bills. Definitely go money line. Josh Allen, 197 yards passing and a touchdown. Devin Singletary, 86 yards rushing and a touchdown. It was all Bills here. Even though Jacoby Brissett balled out, 324 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. Amari Cooper, 113 yards, man, and 2 touchdowns. I mean, they balled out. I just thought, Cleveland, the run game wasn't there with Chubb. The flow was a little off, even though really the Browns took an early lead, and everybody was kind of excited on that note, but the Bills battled back. There's a reason the Bills were the preseason favorites to win it all, and let me tell you, the Bills will be ready for the playoffs with Josh Allen. It's all on Josh Allen, though. Everything is. I mean, dude, as long as you guys continue to win, yes, everybody's going to love Josh Allen, but as soon as you lose a playoff game or something, people are going to look at Josh Allen and be like, yo, what happened? You guys had all this talent. What's going to show for it? So I think the Buffalo Bills have a lot of pressure going into the playoffs this year in the NFL. I can't wait to see what's going to happen for the Bills. And then we had the Saints beating the LA Rams. The Rams are 3-7 now, the defending Super Bowl champions, one of the worst records ever. It's crazy, man. I mean, really? You guys win a Super Bowl, then that very next season, dude, you guys are 3-7. It's over with for the LA Rams. Cooper Kupp's out. I would say if I'm Sean McVay, I hold Cooper Kupp till next year. I mean, you guys aren't going to do anything. You guys aren't going to make the playoffs. It's disappointing, and it goes to show you that really Matt Stafford's a subpar quarterback on a great team. He had 159 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. That's it, dude. I mean, imagine if Aaron Rodgers was on this Rams team right now. Dude, they would be killing it, dude. They would be 7-3, not 3-7. So you get what I'm saying? So Matthew Stafford, I think, is the weak link. He really is. But, you know, shout out to the Saints, man. Andy Dalton, 260 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. Dude, I mean, hey, I didn't see this coming at all. I really did. I gave a lot of, you know, discredit to Andy Dalton. I thought, you know, I still believe Andy Dalton's typically trash, but, dude, I mean, he didn't play like trash. He played like a baller. He played like a Hall of Famer. He played like a Tom Brady-like game here with 3 touchdowns. Chris Olave on my fantasy squad, 102 yards receiving and a touchdown. He took off. It was all Saints in this matchup. I thought for sure the Rams would have something to show for it. I mean, seriously, you got Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald on defense. Like, you guys have superstars, yet you guys are 3-7 right now. I don't know what it is. I'm looking at Sean McVay, Coach Sean McVay, and saying, what's going on? You guys literally just won the Super Bowl, and this is how you guys are coming out this very next season? Dude, it's pitiful. It's a disgrace to the LA Rams, and it's going to be even more disgrace if they miss the playoffs this year, which they probably will. But, you know, rest in peace to the Rams. You know, it was a fluke. You know, you guys won a Super Bowl. Anybody can win a Super Bowl, but not everybody can win multiple Super Bowls. So it's a fluke. You know, LA Rams, they're done. They're out of it. And then we had the Las Vegas Raiders beat Denver Broncos in overtime. I picked the Raiders in this matchup. And really, the Raiders, they should be so much better than what they are. Derek Carr over 300 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs, 24 carries on 109 yards rushing. And then you had Davante Adams have the game-winning touchdown. He had 141 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. It was all Davante Adams and Derek Carr, really. Like I said, Davante Adams, a walk-off touchdown to win the game in overtime. I mean, you guys are playing Denver, though. Denver, another trash team, and I'm looking at Russell Wilson and saying, dude, man, what went wrong? You know, you had so much going for you. This shit happens, dude, in Denver. I mean, they're terrible right now. Russell Wilson, just 247 yards, that's it. No touchdowns, like, no rushing touchdowns. I'm just trying to figure out what is going on with Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos. I thought for sure they would be above 500. I thought for sure they'd be a playoff contender, but no. They're completely trash, dude. They are trash. I can't believe it, dude. I really can't. Do you have any sympathy for them? Absolutely not, dude. It's an embarrassment, really. It goes to show you that, hey, man, Russell Wilson, he's falling off right now. I don't know what it is, but something has to give for Russell Wilson because he looks terrible right now. He looks like he doesn't even want to play anymore. Kind of like how I said, dealing with Aaron Rodgers sometimes. Like, it just looks like he's kind of complaining more than, like, celebrating, dude. Like, come on, dude. It's that victim mentality, but, you know, big win by the Raiders. And then we got the Dallas Cowboys versus the Minnesota Vikings. I picked Minnesota with the upset here at home. They were the hottest team coming in. And no, they get blown the F out, dude. This game, I'm just trying to figure out, like, what happened? What went wrong for Minnesota? And really what went wrong was, you know, Kirk Cousins, he's trash, dude. He's complete garbage, man. I don't know, man. I was never huge on Kirk Cousins. I mean, they have so much talent. Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook. The list goes on of the talent they have on Minnesota. But it wasn't there, man. It really wasn't, dude. It wasn't there at all. You know, it's all Dallas here. Dak Prescott, 276 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. And Tony Pollard, man, 109 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. And 80 yards rushing. I mean, Zeke, he's going to be the backup now. Tony Pollard's their guy. And it was all Dallas here. Kirk Cousins just 105 yards passing. Dalvin Cook, 72 yards rushing. I mean, they locked him down. It was because of Dallas defense. I mean, yes, Dallas put up 40 points, but Dallas, man, they put the pressure on Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins filled it, and his maxi pad must have been wet, dude, because he was scared, dude. He was scared, so it was all Dallas. Big win by the Dallas Cowboys, beating the trash Minnesota Vikings. I can't believe it, man. I'm kind of in shock, like, what went wrong, you know? And then we got the freaking Detroit Lions versus the New York Giants. Detroit Lions are on a 3-game win streak. This is like first time in 5 or 6 years. This is awesome for the Lions, man. And really, it was a domination. 31-18. They held Saquon Barkley just at 22 yards. That was the difference right there. I mean, if you're holding Saquon Barkley to 22 yards, you're doing something right. Daniel Jones just 1 touchdown and 2 picks. And it was all Lions here. And Jared Goff, 165 yards. And really, it was just that they just had a better game plan than the Giants. And that was just to shut down Saquon Barkley and give Daniel Jones some problems. and that's what the Lions did. And let me tell you, man, the Lions are moving somewhere. I'm telling you what right now. Jared Goff, I would probably put him in front of Matthew Stafford for sure. I know they traded over the last year or so, but I just think, man, with the Lions, dude, on a 3-game win streak, I think this is great, man. This is great for the NFL. It's great. So, big win by the Detroit Lions. And then we got the New York Jets versus the New England Patriots. The Patriots won. Hey, this game was pretty interesting, right? It was 3-3 most of the game, and I'm trying to think, like, what are the Jets going to do? But no, it was all Marcus Jones. He returned that 84-yard punt to seal the game, to score that game-winning touchdown. It was 3-3. Then it was 10-3. But I think Zach Wilson, 9 for 22 on 77 yards. I mean, dude, that's terrible. That is terrible. We heard the head coach saying, look, we don't know if we're going to start Zach Wilson. We don't know if he's going to be our guy, but that's just what it is in the league as a rookie. You have to perform, because if you don't perform just 1 week, you could be gone. So I think the pressure's all on Zach Wilson right now. I mean, really, this game was for the Jets to win right here, and yet they blew it. Shout out to Marcus Jones returning that 84-yard punt to seal the deal, and they got the job done. And it was all New England here, and I went New England. It's hard to bet on the Jets, man. It really is the betting in the Jets. But seriously, though, hey, big win by the New England Patriots. What a time. And then we had the Washington Commanders versus the Houston Texans. I picked the Washington Commanders. Crazy, they got the dub. They are 6-5 right now, the Washington Commanders. And it starts with Taylor Heineke, their quarterback, 191 yards passing. And really, for the Texans, Davis Mills with 2 interceptions, and that was it, dude. And it was all Washington right now. Washington, they are on a roll. And ever since they beat the Philadelphia Eagles, man, they've been on. They have something to prove right now. They're playing with hunger. They're playing with passion. They're flying around the ball. So I love the way the Washington Commanders are playing right now. And it'd kind of be silly to bet against the Washington Commanders, because I think they're a hot team right now. And Taylor Heineke brings it every single game. I like the way he plays, because he doesn't play scared. He does not play not to lose. He plays to win no matter what. So I love this kid, man. I really do. Big win by the Washington Commanders. I had them, baby. Let's freaking go. And then we got the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. I picked the Cincinnati Bengals to get the dub. They did. Joe Burrow, 355 yards passing with 4 touchdowns and 2 picks. It was all Cincy here. T. Higgins, 9 receptions on 148 yards receiving. 37-30. This was really a close game, and really Kenny Pickett played a decent game. 265 yards passing and a touchdown. Najee Harris, he had 2 touchdowns on 90 yards. Finally had a good game. I mean, after so many weeks, damn, dude. But, it was all Cincy here. And Cincy, they're 6-4 right now. And if you're the Cincinnati Bengals, you're probably thinking, man, it's kind of nice right now from how we started the regular season, dude. They started so terrible, and yet they've turned it around. So I think this is huge for the Bengals, man. And the Bengals will get to the playoffs this year. I don't care if they're a freaking, the last seed in, a wild card. It doesn't matter. As long as the Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow get in the playoffs, they are a huge threat to any team, dude. Any team. I mean, and a lot of people say, they should have even made the Super Bowl last year. Well, what if they end up somehow making the Super Bowl this year? Then what are they going to say? It's going to be a little different narrative, but, the Bengals continue to roll on with Joe B, and hopefully Jamar Chase will come back eventually here in the next month, so that'll be huge for the Bengals. They definitely need him in the playoffs, or else they won't go anywhere. So, heal up Jamar Chase. And then we got the Kansas City Chiefs versus the LA Chargers on Sunday Night Football. I had Kansas City Chiefs. They won only by 3. This was a close game. The spread was 5. So if you went money line, you hit on that Kansas City bet. Patrick Mahomes, 329 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. And his boy, Travis Kelce, 3 touchdowns, man, on 115 yards receiving. In Kansas City, that's their MO, dude. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, they've been playing with each other for years. They're on the same page. They're ballers, and they got the job done. And Justin Herbert, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Josh Palmer, 106 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns for the Chargers, but it wasn't enough. And it was all Kansas City here. This was a huge win by Kansas City. On the road, on Sunday Night Football, you barely squeak out a win. Those sometimes are the best wins, right? Especially for Mahomes, is just squeaking in a win here. Okay, they could have easily lost this game, so I think a huge win. The X Factor, definitely Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. They continue to move on. And let me tell you, come playoff time, Kansas City's probably going to be the biggest threat. I'm telling you right now. They can score on anybody. They give anybody problems, so this is huge. Big win by the Kansas City Chiefs. And then we had the Monday Night Football game, the San Francisco 49ers versus the Arizona Cardinals. This was an easy pick. I went San Francisco. Kyler Murray was out. I don't even know why. It's just like, dang, dude, like you're a young quarterback in the league, and yet you're missing these games. These are big games for Arizona. Now, Arizona, they won't even make the playoffs this year, whereas the San Francisco 49ers, they will. they are a huge threat in the playoffs, dude. With Jimmy G, they got Debo, McCaffrey, dude. George Kittle, dude. They have so many weapons, man. And even Bosa on the defensive end. So I think, really, the San Francisco 49ers really are a legit team. They are a legit team, and I think they can run deep and go to the Super Bowl. I'm telling you, they had the talent to go to the Super Bowl. Jimmy G this game really balled out. 228 yards passing and 4 touchdowns. We saw Debo get a touchdown. We saw McCaffrey do some crazy stuff. Just what McCaffrey does. He's a mismatch. Put a linebacker on McCaffrey, mismatch. All day, every day. George Kittle, 84 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. And really, it was all San Francisco with the blowout victory. San Francisco, man, I'm telling you what, dude, they're going to be a dangerous team. I would put them in the top 3 dangerous team right now, just talent-wise. Just of all the players they have on that squad, dude, all the great pieces they have for San Francisco, dude, I'm telling you, dude, San Francisco can run it all the way. I'm not just hyping them up or gassing them up. I'm telling you, dude, San Francisco can run it deep. Them and the Cowboys are definitely an X-Factor team in the playoffs this year. After what I saw with the Cowboys in Minnesota, I thought Minnesota would give them a game, right? I mean, we saw Minnesota against Buffalo winning overtime, and I'm thinking, dude, this makes sense to go Minnesota over the Cowboys to me. But definitely, I was way off. That was the worst pick all week, and was picking Minnesota over Dallas. I was definitely dumb for that. But overall, it's a pretty good weekend. Besides my Indianapolis Colts losing and really blowing it, they should have had that game in the bag. And really, the Rams, they're done. Their season's over with, which is disappointing. But for my Indianapolis Colts, we have to look at reality right now and say, look, we're not going to make the playoffs this year. That's just that. Okay, Tennessee's going to win out in our division. So, and I think for the Colts, what they got to do is finish out strong. But this offseason, the Indianapolis Colts need to get a quarterback. They need to get a franchise quarterback, somebody young. I don't want somebody in their late 30s towards the end of their prime like Matt Ryan, dude. Like, come on, dude. We need somebody young and fresh and someone coming into the league hot, dude. That's what the Indianapolis Colts need to do. But overall, what a weekend, man. But the scariest team right now is definitely the Dallas Cowboys, Kansas City Chiefs, and San Francisco 49ers. Those are my top teams right now, hottest teams. Oh, and let me give another shout-out to the Baltimore Ravens beating the Carolina Panthers. Even though Carolina's terrible, I just think for the Ravens right now in their division, they're at the top of their division. I just think for Lamar Jackson, and I even been on Lamar since day one, really since the week 1 this year, and said, look, if Lamar Jackson's going to continue to ball out and continue to carry this team, it's going to be a lot of burden on Lamar. But, this game we saw against the Panthers where, it's really Baltimore's defense that kept them in this game. They caused turnovers. We saw the pick. And that's the old Baltimore MO is defense, defense, defense. So I think really what Coach Harbaugh needs to do and implement this, and he's already starting to do it, is saying, hey, look, the Ravens, we're a defensive team. Okay, Lamar's going to do his own thing. We know all this, but we got to step up defensively, and they finally stepped up this week. And this was the perfect week to do it. So Lamar, 209 yards. Demarcus Robinson, 9 receptions on 128 yards receiving for the Ravens. And really, Baker Mayfield, two interceptions. Baker's not a starting quarterback anymore. I'm telling you guys, I've been on that ever since Cleveland, dude. Baker is not that guy. He isn't. I'm sorry. He's a great college quarterback. He's got the grit, whatever. He's not a starting quarterback, even in the regular season, dude. So, he's going to be benched sometime. But I think for the Ravens, man, Lamar, he's your guy, man. As far as Lamar's going to take you, as far as you guys are going to go. So I can't wait to see what the future holds for the Baltimore Ravens. But I cannot wait. What a week 11 for the NFL. It's the Cloud with Cab show. Let's go!